Construction of Saudi Arabia's The Line actually began according to drone footage. The project has been hotly contested in recent months, with many claiming that it's too large to construct and more resembles something from a science fiction film. But how will this work out now that construction has actually started? Could this be the start of the biggest megaproject the world has ever seen? Or will the line develop into a multi-trillion-dollar construction blunder that is ultimately abandoned? Let's find out. Mohammed bin Salman, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, revealed the line's precise design in July 2022. He suggested two parallel 500-meter-tall reflective glass buildings that would span 170 kilometers of the desert. The equivalent of this would be two lines, each made up of 2,000 One World Trade Centers. Not only is the line the largest megaproject ever proposed, but also it's a new way to live. There wouldn't be any automobiles in the city, and you could get whatever you needed by walking within 5 minutes. All of the electricity would be generated by wind and solar farms, and any water needed would come from a desalination plant that produces water without any carbon emissions. The line would become a zero-carbon city thanks to all of this. There was a mix of amazement, awe, and mistrust in response to the suggestion. Additionally, despite the fact that trailers were viewed millions of times on YouTube and other websites, very little information was available about what was actually occurring on the building site. As a result, everyone thought the line was merely a promotional gimmick. But then, around 3 months after Mohammed bin Salman's presentation, events took an unexpected turn. Construction started. Drone video of the construction site was released by OT Sky on October 19, 2022. The movie depicts a large number of excavators constructing trenches along the desert, which will serve as the line's base. Drone footage indicates that the excavation already extends very far inland. It's difficult to determine exactly how far it extends, but they might be very near the mountains in the background. NEOM's website features an official map that shows that the line passes through these mountains after beginning at this harbor. The footage was probably shot somewhere about here, because of the topography and because you can see the sea in the distance. This means that the excavations may already be 10 to 20 kilometers long. Additional infrastructure is also being built around the entire project. Numerous developments can be seen on Google Maps. Near the mountains, there's a large area with offices, campers, a NEOM community with a football field and swimming facilities, as well as a NEOM Experience Center. There possibly are a lot more now, as these pictures aren't current. How may this turn out now that actual construction has begun? There's nothing like this anywhere in the world. As a result, we can only guess what will happen next. We may, however, generalize that there are only 3 alternative outcomes. The first scenario is that the line will never see any residents move in, and the development will cease in a few months or even years. It can end up being a construction project whose status is still unknown, like the Jeddah Tower or the Dubai Creek Tower. Beautiful renderings and lofty claims were made in both instances. The beginning of construction gave hope that the structures would be completed as planned. But after then, everything stopped, and there's been no more advancement. This appears to be a less plausible scenario for the line though, given that it has the support of an entire nation and has drawn enormous global attention. Bringing the project even close to completion might provide Saudi Arabia with a fantastic opportunity to attract more tourists and investment. The second scenario is that Saudi Arabia significantly invests in its current ambitions and actually accomplishes what it promised in its trailers and over the following decades. Certain aspects such as eliminating vehicles, producing only renewable energy, and adopting the concept of vertical living may surely be implemented. But given the project's sheer enormity, it just seems impossible to complete. The One World Trade Center, which took around 8 years to finish, is meant to be comparable in height to the line, as we've mentioned. Even if that's still a decent amount of time, Saudi Arabia plans to erect a building that is similar in height and 170 kilometers long. In essence, this would be the same as erecting 2,000 One World Trade Centers in a row. Additionally, since there are 2 of these lines in the project, it would be like constructing 4,000 of them. We would arrive to a total of 32,000 years if we just multiplied each by 8 years. Obviously, Saudi Arabia could begin working on numerous portions at once, so they would construct them more quickly, but it still effectively conveys the enormity. Basically, it would take millennia to complete the task. To give you another example, the Three Gorges Dam in China was built over the course of 17 years by about 40,000 workers. It is, however, extremely little in comparison to the line, standing at 180 meters tall and 2.3 kilometers long. However, there's a third potential outcome. Considering that they've already begun construction, a compromise might be reached. We question whether this might be the most significant megaproject humanity has ever witnessed, or a trillion-dollar construction error at the outset. But another choice might be available. Saudi Arabia could build it, but not to the absurd extent they had in mind, as many have previously stated in the comments section of other videos and other platforms. Since the line is designed as 5-minute walk chunks, the entire megaproject may simply be implemented piece by piece. They may simply extend the length as needed depending on demand. Additionally, the project might be made much more realistic and simpler to construct by adjusting the height of the line. The idea of vertical living stays the same at half the height, and all the characteristics might still be used. Even if the line is constructed on a much smaller scale, it may be the first contemporary city to be car-free and introduce a completely new way of life to the globe. There are numerous efforts being made all around the world to reduce the number of cars in cities. However, instead of doing away with cars entirely, these have only focused on cutting down on car usage. Trying to modify this is challenging because the car dominates most large cities. They get to recreate everything using the line. It might be the first major metropolis in the 21st century in which no cars are made. It's ideal for residents to be able to stroll all of the community's essential facilities within a walkable distance. If not, longer trips through the entire line can be taken using the underground railway system that's been suggested. The first residents might be residing in the envisioned high-tech civilization by 2030, albeit on a much smaller scale. Which of these possibilities is the most probable then? What are the opinions of professionals on this crazy project? Few experts will concur that the project is doable, especially given the relatively short schedule. I want to be clear about this. NEOM is a complex, daring, and extremely ambitious enterprise, and is most definitely not an easy one to fulfill, said Anthony Vives, Chief Urban Planning Officer for NEOM, to CNBC. However, we're moving forward quickly, and it's inspiring to watch the concept materialize. On the other hand, other specialists who aren't working on the project are raising other issues. There'd be so many physical and environmental phenomena that would have to be dealt with to get the really simple and distinct character that the representations offer. Marshall Brown, an architecture professor at Princeton University, told DAZN. What do you think then? Will this project be successful in some way now that development's underway? Will there actually be residences there in the future, or will this project become a mega project that is abandoned? Tell us in the comment section below. We appreciate your support and interest in our videos, and we hope to see you in the next one.